Hello everyone, we're back with Arc Nova replay analysis number 21, 25. I'm not sure, but we got two exciting games to look at today. So if you've seen the thumbnail, you know that we have a new current arena leader, Dwarvintime. I didn't think anyone was going to catch BDW this season. 2100 is extremely hard to get. I've been trying the whole season and I'm below 2000 as it stands, so it's really hard to climb that high. So congratulations, Dwarvintime. It's going to be very exciting to see the race to the end of the arena season. We'll be watching that with great interest. So we'll set up chat and we'll have a look at the first game here. So this is the game that got Dwarvintime number 1. So yes, spoilers, this is a win. But I think it's an exciting game nonetheless. I was watching this live. Hello, Pomeroni. We are on Silver Lake, and Dwarvintime is first player. Well, funny you mentioned that, Robert, because I was planning on looking at two Dwarvintime games, but I got sent a Senrot replay, so we're going to have a look at that afterwards. So we got one Dwarvintime, one Senrot game. We are on Silver Lake here. Dwarvintime is first player. The projects are Birds, Africa, and Predators. Endgames for Dwarvintime are small animals who are aquatic, so not amazing. Pretty bad, actually. And what do you keep here? So 2 Africa animals makes sense, because Africa's the project. The first seal's pretty good, especially on Silver Lake, because you do get a lot of early money. It's a lot more playable than on other maps. It's also a predator for this. And then, I don't really know what else. Maybe the Science Institute. Well, I know that Dwarvintime ends up keeping the Science Institute. I think it's sensible enough. It has upside if there's something like a guerrilla field research or just something that needs those science tags, like a science museum. There's enough upside there, and nothing else is too amazing, so. And immediately, we see that the opponent's cards are at 5, Dwarventime's cards are at 4, and there is an Archaeologist here. On Silver Lake, Archaeologist is extremely broken, because unlike every other map, this map has 7 or 8 border spaces, and it's just an easy way to get your second worker in the first round if you want to. So nothing that Dwarvintime can do about that with cards at 4. Just has to build. You at least want to build to make your opponent use cards first. But there must have been some payment going on here, because the opponent does not snap up Archaeologist. They play Expert on the Americas. It's a good sponsor. It doesn't relate to any of these though, and they use it straight away to cover up one of their border spaces, so it seems like they never had any intention of grabbing Archaeologist. Which is just as well, because they're not getting it. This is an Archaeologist snap. The opponent can't even deny the 2 reputation uni because their association is only at 3. But this is completely on the opponent not grabbing that. Instead, they have plans to grab the Africa Partner Zoo. This is the 2 rep uni to get Archaeologist down, so we can pretty much predict the next couple of moves for Dwarvintime. Opponent builds a size 2. Could be a few different animals. It's hard to tell because Africa is one of the projects. It could be any of the size 2s. Yeah, the vultures. Well, the thing about the vulture is you need 3 birds, so it's like a good way of getting your 4th bird, but it's going to be much, much later in the game. Archaeologist comes down, and we're going to see its ridiculous power in a minute. So it was the lesser flamingo for the opponent, which is good because it's also one of these bird icons here. The early posturing is nice. And we just have another size 2. This will allow both these reptiles to fit in, but also covering up this rep and covering up these border spaces gets instant 5 rep for a card upgrade, upgrading animals for another reputation in a second. And I kind of like that move, drawing a card from the deck, because there's sunbathing incoming. This is just basically grabbing 4 money. Yeah, because these two can be sunbathed now. The Snowy Owl's still even though it is a bird, it's still in the distant future, and the Science Institute doesn't really have a purpose right now. Opponent just draws from the deck. Would have been interesting if they snapped up the Bush Baby. I think it has much better value than normal because, well, the opponent already has 2 Africa, and Dwarventime's incentivized to play African animals anyway, so it has a lot of value later in the game. Here come these 2 animals. Sunbathes both, so the Mamba can be played as well. Well, the Mamba could already be played, but just having extra money buffer is important. It even gets to Venom the opponent. Kind of incentivizes the opponent to cause the break here. Don't want to be stuck around with Venom anyway. But I mean, apart from Archaeologist, kind of an even start. Just notice that already up to 6 reputation is a real problem. First move for Dwarvintime. I wouldn't mind a uni grab here, but decides to snap up the Bush Baby first. Personally, I think I would have done the uni first. It's slight difference, but doing the uni first allows you just to have association further up the track, because you're guaranteed to get a second worker this round anyway. I suppose the argument there is also that 2 Africa could have been a support if the opponent doesn't support it right now, but the opponent does that. Although I think in situations like this, I prefer just going for 5 Africa. So I would rather be in Dwarventime's position here. I think going for 5 has much better value. Yeah, and the thing is that if you did the uni first, you could just get the Bush Baby from range with the next build action or the next card's action, whatever. But no matter, here is the uni. The opponent spends an X to build, building 6. For a size 3, they draw the guinea pig from range and build a petting zoo on top of that. Yeah, there's also the rabbit here, so I mean, I don't mind the move. It's not like they need African animals anymore, but it doesn't really help with birds or predators. And we have a small replay bug. Been noticing the last couple of days, spectating games on Board Game Arena has been very buggy, and I think this is just a byproduct of that, but this will get fixed up in a sec. Okay, nice build action up here. You want to cover these edge spots. Uses this to draw the other petting zoo animal from range, and then going down here to get the 8th reputation for another worker. Yeah, also drawing Australia release, which is very nice when you have the first seal, so that's a nice animal to release. All the cards get properly reordered. So we have a jumping monkey for the opponent, that's what the size 3 was for. I find it is a decent value animal. It's very cheap for the amount of points that it gives, but I don't know about playing animals that don't really relate to these. I'm kind of hesitant on it. It seems like they've gone out of their way to build a petting zoo and play this monkey, like spending an X token to build both. The opponent can cause the break, so dwarvintime just plays animals now. Bush Baby has good value now. 5 iconic is okay. I think generally to get your money's worth from iconic, you need 5+ icons, so this is still good value. Yeah, I run into that bug quite a bit when the starting hand doesn't discard properly. It's the bug. Yeah, not here, thankfully. But yes, I've run into that bug quite a bit. Opponent just draws from the deck. Yeah, I guess the opponent actually doesn't want to cause a break because they still have a worker. Both players still have a worker. So it's going to be the Africa Partner Zoo for dwarvintime, getting up to 4 Africa already. The opponent is probably going to grab a uni. Yeah, I think it makes enough. I think it makes enough sense. But at the same time, if my opponent took snapping as a first reward, I think I'd be very happy as well. Even if the Bush Baby is great value. I mean, it's a very small difference, and this is the break here. I'm not going to criticize the number 1 player too much. The opponent would be very interested in the bird breeding program there. Their cards is all the way down at 2 though. Although they do have first action. Ornithol just coming out. Very nice, gets them up to 2 birds. This is an X token, just to grab a second partner zoo and then upgrade cards, I can assume. Yep, upgrading cards before using it makes enough sense. It means the bird breeding program is not getting snapped up here, because otherwise you'd just snap it with normal cards. Opponent just throws down a size 5 enclosure. They only have one partner zoo. It is for the bison, huh? If the opponent's grabbing the bison, it would have to mean it's either Europe or herbivore release. It also means that we know the next move is going to be grabbing the Europe partner zoo before animals. And an eagle shows up. This is tough now. All these border spaces are covered, so there's no way of getting 2 reputation. Opponent can't snap up just yet. The thing is, we know the opponent's next 2 moves are Europe Partner Zoo play animals. And we know that when they play animals, they're going to grab Expert in Herbivores from the row, from our sponsor magnet. So, interesting how this will be approached. Yeah, deciding not to snap the eagle, I do think it makes sense. Getting rewarded by getting the 5th Africa tag here. Or even getting a 6th one. Even getting a 7th one. Hornbill. Okay, Hornbill puts the bird breeding program in range. Plus it's just a bird, so I mean, yes. Rock Monitor going to come in handy as well, being able to sell some of these excess cards. I mean, Cheetah and Rock Monitor is a good combo, just kind of expensive to get out. Cheetah also just especially good for our double predator tag, so this animal itself is giving like 3 conservation points of extra value. Okay, opponent grabs the Europe Partner Zoo, upgrades cards. I wonder if they're going to snap up the eagle this move. Size 5. Probably for the first seal first, I would guess. Opponent needs to snap up the eagle or they're going to lose it after the animal's action. Seems like that's what they're doing. Yeah, eagle also has extra value as well as just being one of the strongest animals in the game. So I would take the bird breeding program here. We do have the first seal and not enough money for anything else. but it's a good enough animal by itself. We do have that bison. Grabbing geologist as well is a nice value for the opponent. I mean, even given the archaeologist start, it's kind of even right now. You might even argue that the opponent's slightly ahead, although the reputation difference is kind of a big deal. But in terms of points and income, it's pretty even. Another petting zoo shows up. Yeah, Xing out sponsors because dwarvintime wants to release. Or play... Oh no, can't play bird breeding yet. Yeah, geologist comes out. Release into 5 income. Pretty much the only thing I would do there. You never need to take the worker here with 3 workers in hand already. So yeah, 5 income just to keep incomes level after the release. Upgrading sponsors as well. I think if you're going to do it, this is a good map to do it because of the 2 conservation points from the university, but then also the fact that you can already get a 4th worker just from this reward because of the fully throated animal. I also like the X tokens over the card draw. Aviary for the opponent. Yep, for the eagle. They can still support a project. See if dwarvintime breaks before then. Probably not. Probably yes. I don't mind that. I mean, you're basically just converting the X tokens to extra money as well as breaking your opponent's worker. Right, and yeah, there are a lot of expensive animals here, so the income is not super high that it does make sense to upgrade sponsors for just extra money. Also an elephant here, which is pretty playable. Opponent does release and takes 5 income as well. Yeah, that makes sense. The opponent's about to get a 3rd worker. 3 workers is really what you want at this stage of the game. They do take the card draw. Yeah, that's a good combo. Sea Cave with the alligator. They can play the alligator and release it again. So I wouldn't have minded the opponent grabbing the elephant there, honestly, because they can play the alligator, release it, and then have a spot for the elephant. Just a good late game animal for them. They already have the Africa Partner Zoo as well. Build before cards here. Okay. For the X token. Is that a replay bug? You didn't use... Oh, you use archaeologist for clever. Oh, okay, I like that. Huh, I wouldn't actually have thought to do that, but... Yeah, don't really need cards. Although, having cards with the rock monitor about to be played is still fine, I think. Opponent X's out cards as well. So it seems neither of them want the break, and yeah, it's still a very even match. Hello, Bob. It's a very even match. Dwarvintime has the advantage of being up a lot of reputation. Yeah, I just said before, the cheetah has like a 3 extra conservation point value right now. Oh yeah, of course, the cheetah into rock monitor is enough of a combo itself. Wow. Cheetah into Sun Bear Adder, and even release is playable, but no, it's too much tempo to not play the rock monitor right now. Just sell release. Sell the Adder as well. Yeah. Well, Europe Partner Zoo is no longer gettable. Dwarvintime also has an upgrade advantage, 4 upgrades to 3 for the opponent. Opponent's missing a university. They nearly have this university from 8 conservation points, but not quite. If they could get that vulture in range, they have the alligator. They can snap up the vulture, but I don't think they have enough money to play both. Yeah, I'm fairly certain they don't. It's very close though. They do snap up the vulture. They do get 2 money with the Kiosk Room Expert on the Americas, so they're like super close, but they can't quite play it. Playing it would have got them that university. Although I guess at this stage, having a university or 10 money is kind of equal, I would say. I'd still prefer the university, but 10 money is a fine compensation. Africa 5 puts Dwarvintime in a much better position. Also, just having Predators 4 here as well, and the Martin here. Yeah, this is the university, makes sense. Still very bad scoring cards though. I mean, you'd keep small animals though, because aquatic is just worse, but... Sloth Bear Sun Bear is a great combo as well. Boost association, then do the action. So a nice little combo of cards, like Cheetah into Rock Monitor is a great combo. You can sell the cards you instantly get, and then Sloth Bear, Sun Bear is a great combo. Opponent plays Vet. They get 2 money from it. I probably would have just spent an X token just to get some more money. Just get your university. And then played Vet. You know. Is this another Clever? Grabbing the Predator there makes a lot of sense. Clevering down cards again. This is another just great use of Archaeologist. You get your reputation early up to whatever you need, 12, and then just spam Clever or play sponsors. It's a great way to use it. That's the last Archaeologist proc though. But yeah, it's given amazing value. The opponent does play Sea Cave now. They get their 10 money from 8 conservation point, and they snap up the goat, so they have their 3rd petting zoo. So yeah, when I was looking at this game, I was thinking, yes, it is kind of even, but the thing I didn't know at the time was Dwarvintime had this great like Predator and even Rhino coming up. So even though it looks even, like points are kind of even, income's even, just having all these cards set up to go is a massive advantage. Play the Martin first. Into Slow Worm is fun. It can be released immediately with either of these. Opponent draws cards before building. I'm not usually a fan of that. I'd rather just build first and then draw cards at 5 just to get the extra card. Like, I know there is benefit in waiting to build to see which enclosures you need, but I think I'd just build small enclosures. Like, you already have an aviary and a size 5. Just build like a 2-1 kiosk pavilion. We do have that worm getting released. Poor guy. Gets hunted, comes in the zoo for like 1 turn, then gets released immediately. What a rough life. Size 2 is great. Spots for the Sunbill and the Hornbill. That's the Sun Bear and the Hornbill. Sunbill. Looks like they are ending up building one of everything anyway. Okay, one next to rock, but So it means they don't have a sponsor that they want to play. I would kind of be looking to connect up to these last rocks for Geologists, though. There's not a lot of time left in this game. Like, he calls the break Animals and then Association. The game's basically over. Size 4 for the Rhino. Also, going to clever down cards again, I have to guess. Oh, I like this. That's the third clever down of cards that we've seen in a row. So that's one way of becoming action efficient, just keep clevering down cards when it gets to 4 or 5. Because at this stage of the game, Dwarvintime doesn't need cards at all. Like, all the cards to win the game are right here. Eagle Owl for the opponent. That gets up to 3 birds. And they have enough money for their petting zoo as well. We know the opponent still has an eagle and a vulture, so it's not all bad for them either. And they have the spots for them. Just the break here. The incomes are still incredibly low for this stage of the game, but that's because we've seen multiple releases from both sides. Like big animals as well. Research is okay, but not really needed. Platypus is an interesting snap. I guess money is tight enough that you really don't want to get venomed at this stage of the game. Herbivore tag. Herbivore tag for what? Herbivore tag for what, though? Am I missing something? Why do we care about a herbivore tag? Yeah, the opponent has 4 chaos thanks to expert on the Americas. Dwarvintime only has 1, which is another contributing factor to the income being so low. Well, yeah, but if you play the Rhino, you got your herbivore there anyway, right? Gotta play the Rhino, which gives you a herbivore tag first. Opponent grabs a uni now, which is super late. I would not bother with the uni. Like, with your workers, just support 2 projects this round. This is not the right time to be grabbing a university at all. The opponent might just not have projects to support. Well, we know that they have birds in hand, though. And they just took research, so I don't know. At least grab the 2 science uni for research. That makes more sense to me. But I think grabbing any uni is a mistake at this stage of the game. You need all your workers to supporting projects. Rhino into species, and I assume we'll see Mr. Sun Bear. Into species. And then next move... Oh yeah, extra turn. Extra turn into Sloth Bear. Bam, next turn, Predators 5, game over. Very, very clean. Yeah, that's a very clean way to end the game. The opponent has Eagle Vulture in hand, which gets them to Birds 4. So they... Yeah, the problem is that their association's down at 1 because they just took a damn university for no reason. Even then, I mean, they're still far behind. They concede the game. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I would be building up here, touching these rocks in the last build action, because you just really don't have time. Right, Venom would have actually hurt a lot, because money was that tight. So yes, perfectly understandable. Opponent didn't really have a spot for it, but, I mean, not really anything else snappable, to be fair. Very clean ending though. Just one sponsor to win the game, but it is probably easily the best sponsor on this map. And yeah, you can see that the early advantage that the reputation gave, getting the second worker super early. I feel like the opponent sponsors were just mistimed. Vet seemed to come out at a very odd time. It did literally nothing for the game. It gave 2 money. The opponent played alright up until the ending, but to be fair, it was self-inflicted. They had the chance to snap up Archaeologist in the first turn of the game, and they chose not to. And this is what shocked me about it. The opponent is very highly rated. They're a nearly 600 rated player. I'm just shocked that they did not snap up Archaeologist. Nevertheless, very quick game. It would have been a 29 turn game. And this is the game that got dwarvintime #1 in the arena. And #1 overall as well. Or maybe that was the game before. But yeah, 2,115 points. Good luck, BDW. I don't know how anyone gets that high. That's higher than last year's top score. Season 14. JD only finished with 2102 last year, and we already have 2 people higher than that with like a month to go, 24 days to go. It's going to be an insane finish. So we'll be looking to cover this more with our 24 days left. But that brings us on to the second game of tonight. We have Senrot against Nimoak. So yeah, someone sent me this replay. I'm not going to say who, but I will say I've never seen Senrot and BDW in the same room at the same time, so it's kind of suspicious. But they are from South Korea. We're looking at this from Senrot's point of view. They are second player on Research Institute. And I'll be honest, they have a very good opening hand here. Like, there are a lot of cards here that I would keep. End goals, large animal, small animal, not amazing. Goals are species diversity, habitat diversity, birds. 3 very easy projects, I have to say. 3 of the easiest. So, not sure what you keep here. I mean, out of all these, I'm always keeping Science Library no matter what. Quarantine Lab works with Science Library and Research, and then Geologist, Water Playground, I'd be happy with either. I'd even be happy with the Tapir. Like, there are 6 amazing cards here. So let's go with Water Playground. I think that makes enough sense. If you don't start with an animal, you might not be guaranteed to play one, so Water Playground sort of makes up the appeal for that. And very interesting opening. We have the first seal showing up again with Australia Release again. BDW's last game in Senrot's account was created at around the same time. That's extremely suspicious. But we shouldn't read into that. Opponent starts off with a size 5 enclosure. Let's look at the opponent, but I think we should point out that the opponent's fairly high rated as well. They're the #1 Copenhagen player. They are 500. They look like I mean, they're not a Smurf account. This is their main account. They're just very good at Arc Nova. Only 86 games, 76 wins. So I'd say they're even underrated for this. Wow, that's some impressive rankings. Oh, top 20 Agricola. So the opponent's a strong player. When you see a strong player building a size 5 in the first move of the game, you should be very, very scared. Beat it up. Senrot has a lot of sponsors that they want to play. Science Library coming out first to make sense. Second action of the game, opponent plays animals. Plays the Cayman, and oh dear. Snapping up the first seal is like ideal here. It's just a perfect animal to fit in this enclosure. After this gets released, this is certainly getting released. The question is it Sea Cave or Yosemite National Park release? Senrot just starts with the university. The 2-rep uni giving them 2 extra money as well immediately. And here we have the release. I think this is incredibly clever by the opponent as well. Taking the 5 income makes sense when you have an animal that's giving you an extra worker. But then also here, I think taking the 10 money so you can play that animal in the first round makes even more sense. Even over the university. Like I said in the last game, university is usually better, but 10 money is not bad at all. 10 money is the 3rd best reward behind university and partner zoo. Usually, but I mean 10 money in this case giving you an extra worker here is just very, very valuable. We see as birds are one of the projects, the opponent can snap up the ornithologist here as well, which is going to give insane value, 1 extra conservation point for it, helping you reach 4 or 5 birds, but then also a ton of extra money when you and your opponent play birds. Water playground coming down for Senrot. Getting very close to this 2nd university for at least 1 card upgrade in round 1. Opponent plays that ornithologist, giving them more money for their first seal, which we can assume is going to come out in a second. Senrot snaps up the raccoon here, which also has a lot of value because you can release it with this America's released. It gives okay value, it's not amazing, but then also just helping you reach 3 or 4 early species diversity is a big plus. Opponent just builds a kiosk here over the X token. Makes enough sense. They just want to get animals to 5 so they can get their reputation and play the first seal. Senrot grabs their 2nd uni, taking the 2 science one because of quarantine lab and then research at 5, which is a very good start. Senrot's had a very good start here. I think the opponents just had a better start. No surprises, the first seal comes down. Gives them a nice 17 to 10 income lead, plus a decent point lead. The advantage that Senrot has is this university here, but the 3rd university doesn't do a whole lot. Would you consider research first turn? I don't think research first turn is the worst idea, but I think because Senrot has a path to 5 research here, it makes enough sense to sort of wait it out for the extra 2 conservation points. Like, it's a very clear path as well. You got your university on the map here, and then science library and quarantine lab gets you to 5 easily. And this is a good move. I think a lot of people would be tempted to play the red deer here, but it just gives really poor value. I think the only advantage it gives is the Europe tag for the habitat diversity, which is okay. But if you're not flocking it, it gives 5 appeal for like 18 money. It's a bad trade-off. So I don't mind the fact that he does not play it there. You waste a reward? Well, you can still grab this uni. I don't think it's a waste. Senrot just builds a single pavilion here, but the timing on that's important to grab the Australia release. You don't really want the Australia release in the first seal as well, I think. We have that cards bug again, but it'll be fixed up. Opponent snapping up expert on Asia. The opponent does seem like they're clearly racing for 5 habitats here. Asia gives them a 3rd habitat. Quarantine lab comes down, that is 5 research. Opponent plays that expert on Asia. Just gives them even more income as well, building that pavilion next to the kiosk. Cards at 4, but no hand size for Senrot. Okay, draw. This is like 2 different continents, but kind of expensive to play, both of them. Opponent just causes the break with cards too. Gets rid of Australia release, yeah, fine. Cable car, kind of interesting. I'm always on the lookout for cable car. I think this is a pretty good map for cable car as well. There's like a lot of very open spots touching 2 rockets, pretty easy to place. There's also some rock animals here. So we do have research and snapping as first reward. Snapping the shoe bill because it is playable, it's a bird, and yeah, denying the opponent's birds makes sense, while also getting birds yourself. But opponent's very happy here. They grab Europe Partner Zoo and they have a path to get to 5 habitats by just playing the tapir. They just need to build and draw it from range next move. Not much that Senrot can do about it. I suppose they could build over here and draw it from range, but it might just be delaying the inevitable. Like, it's a 4-1 lead. More interested in covering that reputation to get a 3rd card upgrade, which is cards. Opponent is building towards that drawing spot to draw the tapir from range, so Habitats 5 is locked up for them. Choosing not to overbuild either. I think a lot of people would be tempted to like go over here and grab the uni. I am not really a fan of snapping as first reward. I know that a lot of top players are. I just really prefer the money, but that's also might be why I'm behind the top players, that I don't take snapping enough. It is a great feeling when you have snapping in that, and a break happens and that there's a card that's just perfect for you and you can snap it up. But I always find a use for the money. So Senrot playing the lemur from range and sunbathing a couple of cards, also playing the shoe bill. That is 4 species at least. And hand size uni there. That is the other thing as well though, right? If the opponent had grabbed the university, I think that would have been a good opportunity to take hand size and then sort of kill this 5 conservation point reward, because they know that Senrot just snapped up the shoe bill and probably wants to play it. They do play the tapir. Yeah, so I guess they didn't have enough money to do all that because they just got 3 money from ornithologists, so that's why they stopped building. Dig away the cable car. Reveals an eagle and, yeah, immediately dig it away. Senrot has no cards in hand, but can't cause the break. Just sponsors for 5 money. Very awkward sequencing by the opponent. They need to get this university in order to upgrade association by getting 5 reputation. And they need to upgrade Association to grab this Partner Zoo from 8 conservation points. So that's the reasoning behind that move. They build a pavilion and a size 1. They get their reputation, they upgrade Association, and if Senrot draws cards here, I fully expect 2x tokens to be spent. Not the best draws here. At least with the Pelican, it's another bird. Macaw is a bird as well, and it is playable on this map without grabbing the Partner Zoo. Dingo over sheep is, yeah, it doesn't matter too much. I might have kept the dingo because you already have a predator senrot, it's not that bad. Here we have Habitats 5, so grabbing this Partner Zoo from 8 conservation points. Grabbing Asia for the extra pavilion as well. And what's the reward here? Size 2 enclosures. And already time to discard endgames. I guess in Senrot's position you'd... And actually no, you're going to play the Pelican, that's already one large animal, but... probably safer to keep small. Pavilion, size 1, kiosk. Just really trying to... Senrot's really trying to just increase their income, but the Macaw is not playable just yet. The opponent just causes the break. So, I mean, the opponent has a point lead. Slight income lead. It's not as dominant as a position as I thought. True, they could have just taken size 2 to grab the university like that. It's actually a very good point. So they kind of did waste a move by building the with the build 2 action. They could have just taken size 2 reward all along. That's a sequence that I missed as well, going through the replay for the first time. It's a very good point. So this is where snapping pays off. Opponent does not have snapping, but Senrot does. And Guerrilla Field Research is a nice snap here. Especially because there's player sponsor for money at 8 conservation points. Just saves you a tempo. Species diversity at 4 to then play Guerrilla Field Research. Senrot takes size 2 as well, which is important for reaching this research institute spot. Opponent just draws from the deck. They need one more university to get their last upgrade. Senrot still missing 2 Partner Zoos. Reaches 10 reputation and just draws from the deck. Doing that means that the little sunbathing guy has to be played now, because there's no undoing an action once you reveal a random card. Does find the Swedish man and sells it immediately. Just had enough of that. So yeah, I was thinking about how you would play the game from Senrot's position here. I think when you're at a worker disadvantage like this, it is just beneficial to cause the breaks. So that's why the reason there's not really time to play victory column here. Eurasian Eagle Owl coming out for the opponent. Very nice. Another bird for them. They're up to 2 now. And Dusky Leaf Monkey. Extra value because of Expert on Asia. But, yeah, that's it. I guess they can also use the Clever. I don't really know what they'd want to Clever though. Maybe Clever down build. You don't really need to build as much when you have size 2. I was sent this game by someone that may or may not be Senrot. But Senrot's also a top 10 arena player. They're a very strong player. They may or may not also even be a top 2 arena player. They do advance the break another 5, unable to cause it. I found this move very odd from the opponent, I have to say, actually. I understand the reasoning for grabbing the university now, but I think when you have when you can support a project, you just do it. It felt very weird timing, this move. I think I would have just supported species, and then you can get snapping as a reward, or even the clever would be amazing to have right now. But yeah, the university only allows for a cards upgrade, and okay, yeah, maybe they have 5 cards that they want to keep. That would be a good reason. Even still, do you really have 5 cards that you want to keep? Get some a last worker, but they would have got the reputation eventually anyway. Also, don't spend an X to also just get a 2 rep as well with it. I would always be looking to do that. 1 X token for 2 reputations, a great trade. Especially because the break's about to come. You have no use for the workers anyway. Native farm animals. Oh. Yeah, Primatologist the least useful out of these. Native farm animals is pretty interesting, especially with size 2 reward. Don't know what you snap up here in Senrot's position either. Size 2 to connect to the Institute. See, when I first watched this, my thinking was that Native Farm Animals is dead, otherwise you'd just build it like along the edge. But just costing yourself 2 points is not the biggest deal, I guess. Cougar. Cougar is a better release candidate than the Macaw, I guess, or the Raccoon, but unlikely to find time to do that. Trying to build size 2 as well. I think this is another mistake from the opponent. They snap up Vet. They don't have the endgame for Vet, and they should never have time to grab it just a 2 Science University. So it feels like a very wasted 2 move sequence from them. They get 5 money from it, but it takes 2 actions, like a snapping action as well, for something that's not going to give them points and maybe save them an X token or 2 in the future. It just feels too slow. I mean, the opponent has a big point lead, and even though money's the same, they still have projects to support. I guess Vet gives them 2 science tags. Maybe that's part of the reason as well. Very interesting pavilion spot there. My assumption would be that it keeps this aviary spot open, but it also connects 2 spots for native farm animals, which might still be on the menu. We have the cards bug again, but no fear. Yeah, it doesn't even give 5 money though, it gives Senrot 2 back. We do have the Raccoon release, which makes native farm animals playable again. And Senrot does grab a worker. 3rd worker, yeah, very important to be able to support 2 projects here. Opponent going to build at 4. Okay, they need a size 3 enclosure and probably need to connect to the Institute as well. We'll see what they play. Okay, they can play... Well, they can already play the Leopard, they just need a size 3. Native Farm is dead. No, Native Farm's alive because of the Raccoon release. Very nice 9-point Native Farm animals. Even one endgame over here if it doesn't get covered up. Opponent does play the Leopard, which I think is fine. The opponent has a lot of money and they just want a way to spend that money into points. At this stage of the game, the Leopard is a pretty decent conversion of money to points, giving you like 10 points for 26 money. It's a good conversion. Plus some extra cards, or 1 extra card. Boa Constrictor looks okay. Well, it looks better than the Emu anyway. Play the Anaconda, but it doesn't matter because Senrot is protected with Quarantine Lab. The opponent not using Vet either. I would have been tempted to associate at 4 and then play animals after that. The way that the rounds are going, the opponent probably wants to associate 2 projects each round and play animals once. So it could have made sense to support a project first. But Senrot is playing 2 birds now, the Pelican and the Macaw. This is what I like to see at this stage of the game, only building pavilions. The kiosks do very little, but the pavilions always give you a point. Another nice move that we see, using Clever down cards to build at 5 and just get cards out of the way. Size 3 for the Cougar or the Monkey, could be either. Kiosks do very little, but it's better than a size 1 at this stage because there's no way that you can fill up all these enclosures anyway. And there will probably need to be another break. Okay, opponent is supporting Researcher 2. Not spending an X token again just to get 2 reputation. It just always feels bad to waste like a power. It's basically like spending 1 X token for 2 reputation. So they could already be like at 13 rep, I guess, if they had an extra X token. We have habitats for Senrot. Taking X tokens themselves. So I mean, now the opponents are ahead in points and money. They even have 3 workers, so it's going to be on Senrot to cause the break here. Because the opponent can probably end with another animal's action and then... Well, it'll be close. Maybe if they had 2 cheap birds, they could end. They do just build a size 3. I think it makes enough sense. You don't really want to help Senrot cause the break. The opponent would rather stay in the round. Where am I in Res Arcana Arena? I have not participated in Arena mode at all for Res Arcana, so somewhere near the bottom. I haven't played in a while. I think overall I'd still be top 100, but I don't feel like I'd be a top 100 player anymore. Opponent takes a cards action. Oh yeah, we saw Senrot play Hydrologist. That's a fair enough move at this stage. It's 4 instant points, and then you can always get the conservation point at the end with just a size 2 enclosure here. Although it does cost you a native farm animals point to do that. But there's still the possibility of filling up the map. We do just have a Cougar here to help with the break. But that's all that can be afforded, so Senrot has a slight point lead going into the last round. Opponent plays Sponsorship Lines for 2 extra points. I think it makes a lot of sense for people to take Clever. I think the reason that Senrot took X tokens at the time was just so they could cause the break if they wanted to. The X tokens just meaning can do sponsors at 7. But it definitely makes a lot of sense to take Clever in a lot of situations. Like, I think I would have preferred the opponent last round to, instead of grabbing the University, to support a project and take the 2 Clever. That would have been much better, I think. Pretty interesting here. Penguin Pool actually gives the 4th bird icon for our Senrot, and it is playable. It will also help Senrot fill the map, but the question is there time to do all that? Because the opponent has the first move of the round, and they're pretty much an animal's action and an association away from ending the game. Tarsier gets snapped up. Yeah, can't be pilfered, so don't need to worry about that. The opponent only has a size 3, size 2, and size 1 left. They do take the monkey after hitting 10 reputation. Play the boa constrictor, which does give nice points for money. The constriction doesn't do anything because of quarantine. Yeah, well, that's the trade-off. Yes, Clever does give technically more value if you can use it twice, but you don't always need to use the Clever. Like, if you start the round with animals and association at 5 and 4, then you don't need Clever at all. So the X tokens are just more like versatile, but Clever can definitely be more useful in certain situations. Kind of weird last 2 animals for the opponent. They do give some value. Not like the ideal animals you'd end a game with. I mean, it's 16 points. Maybe very fortunate for Senrot that this Lesser Bird of Paradise showed up. It was like the perfect animal here. It fits in a small enclosure. It is the 4th bird needed. And with this Tarsier, it just comes into range. The Tarsier also giving enough reputation for to get to 14 for the extra conservation point as well. Size 2 there is very unfortunate. It did cost a native farm animals point, but building a pavilion here will get the hydrologist point back by connecting to all the water. So that's another very important point there. I guess in the opponent's position, you should probably always end the game, because Senrot can always fill up their zoo for extra points. And with 5 X tokens, Senrot could even support 2 projects, I guess. So I think it does make sense for the opponent to end the game here. Now, they do finally now spend their X token to grab 2 reputation, as well as support a project. Yeah, the opponent can't play animals either, so... The opponent's last project is Release Asia. They release their Dusky Leaf Monkey. The reputation important as well to get them up to 14. Get that extra conservation point. And with a donation, can just end the game here. So just sort of crawling over the line. Senrot will do the same. In the end, the X tokens didn't matter. Yeah, 4 birds. Very nice last release. Very nice last project. Can't really get anything better. No partner zoo game at all. Shame not hitting Europe there for our Quarantine Lab extra point. But hit Science Library and Hydrologist. Small animals looking very bad though. Only 5 small animals. Opponent had diverse species. Senrot has just enough to tie and win on tiebreakers by 1 project, 5-4. So I think key mistakes by the opponent were like not supporting a project. They could have supported... Yeah, they never ended up supporting species at 2, so they could have supported species at 2 in the second last round instead of grabbing this university, and they just wasted time grabbing the university and the vet. Not even really sure which cards they wanted to keep because we didn't see many cards come out. It was a very weird game. The opponent had such a strong start as well. They just sort of made 1 or 2 bad tempo moves in the mid game, and that cost them. Also shows like being persistent with these base conservation projects is very important. It really paid off for Senrot in the end there. Supporting birds at 4 was like the needed project to get the points back. Yeah, Snapping Vet was very underwhelming. The only advantage it gave was being able to support research at 2, but there was always species here at 2 anyway. Yeah, releasing the monkey was a better move than species at 2 for the last turn. I guess I like some experience, but I don't know. They've won 70 out of their 80 games. They're still a very strong player. They're up past expert level. I mean, still solid game from them. How many turns was this? They did trigger the end of the game. 30 turn game. Still very solid. Only 4 breaks as well. Extremely close though. So this was earlier today. I think Senrot's just outside of top 10 in Arena. I know they have been top 10 earlier. I'm currently floundering around in 9th. Yeah, Senrot just underneath me right now. Yeah, it's not really a close race. I think it's really between... Well, I'm not going to count JD out. It's really between these 3, I would say. I don't think anyone else has a chance. Yeah, Senrot was number 2 earlier. Senrot was both 1 and 2? No. BDW was at 1 for most of the time, and Senrot was at 2. Yeah, extremely good run from Dwarvintime. This will be a great match to watch. Like a great end to the Arena season. When it's this high, like any loss really hurts. Like a loss here is minus 40. So yeah, that is all that we're going to look at for this week. We won't be live next week. I'll be away traveling, but I have recorded some games versus BDW for next week. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that next week. But until then, take care and have a good rest of the day. Thanks for watching.